Hello everyone, my name is Anna C. Fable and welcome to my channel. As you could tell from the intro, I'm going to be painting this drawing with watercolor. I'm using this Winsor Newton palette that my friend gave to me. Literally every single thing outside of the binder clips that I'm using, my friend gave to me. He gifted me this watercolor book, the palette, the paint in the palette, the pen, and believe it or not, even those paper towels that I'm using, he just gave it all to me. So huge shout out to my friend Izzle Inks, who also has a YouTube channel and makes really cool, amazing videos. But yeah, I decided to go for burnt sienna on this monocolor painting because I feel like it really fit the vibe. I was super proud of this drawing. I think I really exceeded my expectations and broke through my same face syndrome, which if you know, you know. But yeah, I'm just trying to, because I'm new to watercolor and I don't really understand color theory, I didn't want to mess the drawing up, so I thought, what way to do that other than to just stick with one color? I feel like doing this and trying to figure out all the hues and values, I think I'm using the correct terminology, but trying to figure out all the hues and values that I can get only using one color is going to help familiarize myself with my palette, so when I'm ready to explore and mix and blend and learn color theory, I will already be, or have an understanding of the colors that I have and how they work. For example, as I'm going in with this color, I decided to just dilute the burnt sienna with water for the skin so then I can make her hair and her clothes a lot darker and have that contrast, but I didn't know or didn't realize that it would work out super well as a skin tone in general. So now I could keep that in mind for later drawings that I might do, and I might default to burnt sienna for a skin tone. I think I'm going to take some time in this watercolor sketchbook to just play around with the watercolors and just do some swatches. I already have a swatch sheet, as you've seen, my friend made it, but I think I want to take a whole page to just see how light and dark I can really take these colors, because I think the swatch sheet I have is pretty much just the basic middle ground, Anyway, I'm going in with her braid and I'm using on the face, I used a wet on wet technique. I did a little bit of research and I really like how that came out. But on her braid, I'm going for more of a wet on dry, so then I can get in those dark areas where the hair loops around itself. The thing about watercolor is that it takes a really long time to dry. So as I try to go back and add define values and define lines, the watercolor I already put down is still wet, so it just ends up being an unintentional wet on wet. So it's gonna be, that's another reason actually why I decided to do monocolor, because I don't know how long it takes to paint a watercolor drawing when you have to wait for it to dry and everything. And I'm filming this and my camera battery only lasts for so long. I only have one battery. But yeah, either way, I'm absolutely loving how this looks so far. The photo was supposed to be of this female elfin warrior, and I guess they just got done filming. I guess they just got done fighting a battle, whether they came to some sort of ceasefire or truce, whatever they called it back then, when everyone just decided to stop fighting, whether the opposing army's captain was slain or whatever. Either way, she's holding up some type of flag. When I came into this drawing, that was not my intention, and I feel like some of my best works are brune, is that a word? Like brew, are born, I'll just say born, are born from me just trying to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. But mistakes can also happen there, which I do think I made a mistake in this drawing later on, or in fact I know I made a mistake. I'll point it out when it happens, but at this point so far I'm actually really liking it. But yeah, I feel like some of my best artwork is born from just trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and bringing my imagination into my pieces. I like that when I'm drawing, I can think of a story or a world for a character, even if I'm not really considering them to be a OC. But this is also very unintentional. So my friend put me onto a book series, the A Court in Thorns and Roses book series, and I just finished the final book that is released, A Court of Silver Flames, which it's probably my least favorite in the series outside of uh, Frost and Starlight or whatever. But there's a character in the series named Gwen, and I feel like this character that I'm drawing here kind of was unintentionally reminding me of her, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, I digress on that. But yeah, I was really proud of myself with this, and I feel like I was able to do something that I was really proud of and break through my same face syndrome and draw in a style that I feel like it's true to me and the way that I like to draw, because I've been struggling with style for a really long time now, because I was really raking through the parts of my brain and imagination. I remember drawing this with no music in the background, no video playing, just nothing but me and my brain like I used to do when I was a kid. And I really feel like I awakened my imagination and was able to pull from areas that I really like elves, fantasy, sword fighting. Right there, I was trying to show you guys how much I was caking this watercolor brush with paint because I wanted to create a really good contrast between her face, her armor on her shoulder, and her hair. I'm doing a wet on dry technique here. In fact, the paint itself was that I'm dipping into, like I'm dipping right into like the paint pan. So the paint itself that I'm dipping into wasn't really too wet because I didn't want to dilute anything at all. I wanted it to be very, very saturated. And I'm still liking it at this point so far. I think I'm about to mess it up soon, unfortunately. And it is absolutely insane, this little detail that I feel like completely took this drawing to a 180. But yeah, now I am trying to add shadows, but I hardly waited for it to dry. That's the one thing about me. I don't want to sit there and wait for my painting to dry. I want to keep working on it. So we're getting to it. As you see, I'm working on the eyes a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I need to color her eye. Do you see that completely changed the picture? When I color her eye, I'm like, what? She looks like she has like an eye infection. She looks like she might be under the influence. I don't know. She looks a little rough, but it's not that bad now that I'm still looking at it right here. As you can see, I'm pondering. I had to stop to ponder. I'm like, let's just move on. We'll handle that later. It's still not completely bad here. I feel like I could have just left it. And I know it looks really incomplete not having any line art or anything, but I like that. I really like that rugged look, especially when I'm working in my sketchbook. There's something about it looking unfinished or incomplete or rough, and yeah, I really like it. Anyway, her eye is bothering me so much here, and my light is starting to die, so my lighting is getting a little bit worse and just making the quality of the picture look a little bit worse. And so I moved on to the flag, but I'm not gonna show you me painting this whole flag. We're about to skip it soon. And I think that I can fix it with a little bit of line art to her face and to her eye. Again, the thing about me is I don't want to wait when I'm drawing. I just kind of want to finish my drawing. So I didn't want to come back to this later and add the line art. So I have these water-based pens, and I picked a similar color and I'm trying to add some line art. I don't think it's terrible. I think I just should have kept it off of her face. I add some details in her ears and everything, and I like how that turns out. But I think adding it to her face just kind of made it look worse. And it really sucks because I was really so proud of the sketch. Now that I'm looking at it today, it's not terrible, but compared to the sketch, I think that the quality definitely went down drastically. I decided to try to write something and I added a little bit of white jelly pen to her eyes to try to fix it, but at the end of the day, you have to live with what it is. I threw a little filter over this part of the video to hopefully make it look better, and this is it. I covered up that that I wrote with "once this war's over, what's left," and I think it still has a really good ambiance. It's one of those pictures that look a little bit better off camera, but although I like the sketch way better, I'm not really upset with myself because I'm new to learning watercolor. This was a experience and I don't completely hate it. I oftentimes feel like there is so much to learn in the mistakes we make rather than the successes we have, but I'm not going to get too cheesy on here. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you on the next one.